In the AR-15 does not stand for assault rifle or automatic rifle. It does stand for the company that first developed the AR-15, which is Armalite. The importance of this speech today is for the audience to hear facts and important statistics and information about the AR-15 to help undecided individuals decide if the AR-15 should or should not be banned by taking it away from the Second Amendment. The AR-15 is a firearm that is important in shooting sports and self-defense. Therefore, it should not be, it should be protected by the Second Amendment. We will review the history of the AR-15, the development and intended uses. We will then review the history of the Second Amendment, what and whom it protects. Third, we will review some recent mass murders, some that involved an AR-15 and some that did not. And finally, we will review why the AR-15 should be protected by the Second Amendment. The history of the AR-15 begins with early development by the company Armalite in the late 1950s. According to Greg Meir, the AR-15 was developed as a military weapon but saw limited success. This led to Armalite selling their rights to the AR-15 to the company Colt Manufacturing. After the purchase, Colt turned and rebranded the fully automatic version they called the M16 to the U.S. military. They also sold and developed a semi-automatic version, which they called the AR-15, and they sold that to the civilians and to law enforcement, whom still use it today. The Second Amendment states, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. According to London Winkler, many in the founding generation believed that governments are prone to use soldiers to oppress the people. That is one reason why the Second Amendment was created. It was to help protect the U.S. citizens, at the time they were colonists, from outside military oppression. They also created the Second Amendment to help protect the citizens against crimes and other radical uprisings within the country. It was also created to protect law-abiding citizens' rights to own firearms. That is to protect oneself, family, and property, and also provide for oneself and family. This is really important to the hunting society today. It is important that a hunter has the right to own a firearm so that they can hunt and gather game animals to provide sustenance for their family and themselves. Cornell Law School goes on to state that the Supreme Court revisited the District of Columbia versus Heller in 2008. And in a 5-4 decision, the court said the Second Amendment gave an individual right to U.S. citizens to possess firearms. The Library of Congress goes on to state that this review caused the two provisions in D.C. restricting the gun because they violated this right. Now we'll look at some recent mass murders from the past 5 years. The first two that we'll look at involved AR-15s. The first one is the First Baptist Church of Sutherland Springs, Texas. This event occurred on November the 5th, 2017. One assailant used an AR-15 to kill 26 churchgoers and wound about 20 others. Please make note that a civilian outside of this incident used an AR-15 themselves to stop the assailant. The second event is the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School from Parkland, Florida shooting. According to Madeline Farber, this event occurred on February the 14th, 2018. It involved one assailant which used an AR-15 after drawing out students and teachers from their classrooms. They killed 17 students and teachers. The assailant escaped the scene and then was captured. Now we'll look at two mass murders that did not involve AR-15s. The Boston Marathon bombing comes to mind. It occurred on April the 15th, 2013, and according to History.com, 2 assailants used 2 bombs planted in pressure cookers to kill 3 people and injure 260 more. The Manhattan truck attack also comes to mind, which occurred on October the 31st, 2017, where one assailant used a truck to drive into a crowd and kill 8 and injure 11 more people, according to Nicole Dara. Why should the AR-15 be protected by the Second Amendment? The first point is the AR-15 is not responsible for the murders of these people. A person is responsible. An AR-15 is an inanimate object that cannot kill a person unless used by another person. The second point is that an AR-15 is vital as a tool in the shooting, sports, and self-defense. The AR-15 has increased its popularity in the plinking sport. According to Roger Phillips, with the exploding popularity of AR-15 rifles, lots of folks have taken their plinking to a new level at longer distances and with different targets. The AR-15 is a great self-defense weapon. It can protect and defend oneself, the family, and their property. In conclusion, an AR-15 is a controversial weapon, but not at all illegal. The Second Amendment created a system to protect citizens and their rights to bear arms, even with the recent mass murders that we just talked about and others not included. There has been other weapons used. The AR-15 is not responsible for any deaths, and it should be protected by the Second Amendment. Thank you.